Hello, this is Brett from SurvivalComms. Today we're going to take a look at a newer covert tri-band antenna, the Taoglas Watson MA2332. Now, the need for covert antennas is certainly not a new concept, and there have been many companies over decades that have been manufacturing specific types of covert two-way radio antennas for vehicles and other applications. Now, it's actually pretty easy to build a covert two-way radio antenna, and I've built this one here for the 700, 800 megahertz band that fits up in a headliner by just taking a small piece of RG316 coax, cutting back a quarter wavelength and folding back the quarter wavelength of shield, and then heat shrinking it together, and then you just shove this up in the headliner like that, and it works out fine. Now, is this a perfect radiator? No, it's imperfect, but it still radiates and gets the job done. Now, the antenna we're looking at today takes this concept and gives us three elements, one for VHF, one for UHF, and one for 700, 800 megahertz. And all these elements are mounted on this thin sheet of plastic. Now, the interface between the elements and the short section of RG316 coax is protected by a plastic enclosure. There is adhesive on the plastic body to mount the base between the vehicle roof and headliner, and a strip of adhesive to mount the elements against glass. Of course, the end user can be more creative with their install as well. It's a pretty simple package. It retails for about $60 and it can handle standard mobile two-way radio power levels. So today we're going to test this antenna and compare it to conventional quarter wave antennas in not only return loss, but also in transmitted field strength and receive measurements with my spectrum analyzer. I don't anticipate excellent performance out of this antenna, but if it functions in its intended role as advertised, it will provide an inexpensive option for the end user desiring a stealthy tri-band mobile antenna. We will start with the 700, 800 megahertz band with return loss measurements. And this is our reference antenna, the quarter wave antenna provided with Motorola Apex mobiles. Performance is excellent, as you can see in our markers. And here is the return loss on 700, 800 megahertz for our Taoglas test antenna. Not as good as our reference antenna, but it is resonant where it needs to be, only crossing that 10 dB threshold, 10 megahertz or so outside the edge of public safety spectrum. Moving on to UHF, our reference antenna, which is a quarter wave cut for R split, and it's doing its thing, giving us good performance. And here is our Taoglas antenna, and it's not doing so hot, exhibiting only a slight excursion below 10 dB in the S split range, and in our R split range is hovering around that 6-7 dB line. Now, to put this in perspective, that 7 to 8 dB transition in the commercial range is an SWR of 2.5 to 1. It's not a dummy load, but it's not exactly an ideal match either. Now on to VHF, and our reference quarter wave is one I dug out of my parts box. And it's obvious it's cut for higher split VHF where it falls below our desirable 10 dB line. Our Taoglas antenna is just barely falling below that 5 dB line. If we were to only pay attention to that metric, it would be easy to give this antenna a no-go or suitable for receive only. If you are a VHF primary user, I would not recommend this antenna. Let's see how it stacks up in our receive and transmit testing. Now, this is our 700 megahertz receive test, and this is our reference antenna. And the signal from our source is minus 84 decibel milliwatts. On our test antenna, the receive signal is just under minus 95 decibel milliwatts. And what this tells us is that our reference antenna is providing us with 10 dB more signal under identical conditions of source, cable, and location. That's kind of hard to believe, so I'm going to repeat the test with another piece of equipment and see what we find. So let's change up this test a little bit. This time we're going to use an active 800 megahertz control channel as our signal source, and we're going to use an SDR as a receiver. And you can see here, this is our reference antenna, and it's giving us a minus 42.1 dB signal. And here's our test antenna on the same signal, and we're getting minus 49.2, which is 7 dB less than our reference antenna again. Now moving on to UHF receive. This is our reference antenna, and it's giving us a signal of minus 80 decibel milliwatts. Moving on to our test antenna, we can see that our signal is minus 83 decibel milliwatts. In this case, our test antenna is 3 dB below our reference. Now we're moving to VHF, and our reference antenna is providing us with a signal of minus 81 decibel milliwatts. At VHF, our test antenna is giving us a signal of minus 84 decibel milliwatts, so in short it is 3 dB below our reference. Now let's see how transmit testing pans out. On our 700 megahertz transmit testing, our reference antenna has a field strength of minus 42 decibel milliwatts per square meter. And our test antenna is giving us a field strength of minus 47 decibel milliwatts per square meter, which is 5 dB below our reference. On UHF transmit, our reference antenna is giving us a field strength of minus 28 decibel milliwatts per square meter. And our test antenna is giving us minus 31 decibel milliwatts per square meter, so it was 3 dB below our reference. On VHF transmit, we are seeing minus 27 decibel milliwatts per square meter with our reference antenna, and on our test antenna, we are seeing minus 37 decibel milliwatts per square meter, which is 10 dB below our reference. It's pretty obvious when it comes to VHF, coupled with our return loss measurement, that the VHF capabilities are a fair receive in a contingency transmit antenna and not a primary VHF antenna. So the measured performance of our antenna is about what we anticipated it was going to be. It's a marginally effective radiator at the bands of interest, and again, for the price tag of $60, you know, it's actually represents a pretty good value for someone needing a stealthy mobile antenna. I hope this helps. This is Brett from SurvivalComms. Till next time.